Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bits and Caffeine. I say welcome back, but this is technically our first actual episode other than the pilot. And how's everybody doing, Alex? You doing well?
I'm doing all right. A little caffeinated today, so that's good.
That's good. That's good. I have an early drive tomorrow, so I can't actually drink much caffeine at the moment. I wish I could, but I can't.
That's normally how that goes.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, today we're going to be doing our first basic episode for the podcast, which is going to be posted mainly on Mondays, but today I think it's going to be posted on a Tuesday, where we're going to be talking about either tech news or gaming news. Each person's going to come in with a topic, and basically they're going to present it to the other one, and we're going to talk about it for a bit. Yeah, so if you have any additions you want to make, to the podcast, add us on Twitter, or you can find any of our other social medias at bitsandcaffeine.com. Anyways, Alex, going to be starting off. So, Alex, what would you bring to the table today?
All right, so you're going to love this one. What I brought to the table today, it's Starfield. I'm talking about Starfield. No, I'm kidding. Okay, you know what a honeypot is, right?
I don't know. Yeah, of course I know what a honeypot is. But can you explain it for the viewers?
Yes. For the viewers that don't know what honeypot is, a honeypot is essentially like a trap for hackers. Okay, it's essentially like a fake server that acts like it holds something of value when in reality it never actually contains important stuff. So like an IT or cybersecurity group, Sky, would typically set up a honeypot outside of the firewall that holds back what they're actually trying to protect, and in pretty complex infrastructure, sometimes there will be multiple honeypots, but in this case of this one, it's just one honeypot that was outside of our server for I think 3 years by this firm called GoSecure, but I'll get into that for a second. Anyway, it's essentially just a trap for hackers. It's like the simplest way to put it. Do you know how a honeypot got its name, though, Sky?
I would assume in relation with, I would say bees, which sounds probably really stupid.
Oh, kind of, but there's another animal.
I don't think in my years of studying for university for IT and whatnot, I don't think we've ever talked specifically in what honeypot, the reason that name came to be.
Okay, so I'm going to explain it to you. You may not believe me, but I'm going to explain it. All right, so back in the day when beekeepers would have problems protecting their bee farms from bears.
I'm kind of right, is what you're saying with the bees.
yes, like I said, but there's another one, the bears.
Okay.
So they would have trouble with these bears because they would come to the bee farms. They'd smell the honey, the sweetness, and everything. They'd tear down the bee farms and screw over these and screw over these beekeepers. So then eventually, at some point, the beekeepers would have to instill this thing where they leave out these pots kind of partially full of honey. So then the bears would come and they'd get their paws or they'd get their heads stuck in the honey pots, and then they'd either suffocate or they'd die of starvation because they couldn't get the honey pots out. Which kind of brings this whole thing of Winnie the Pooh to a very interesting concept. So.
What do you even do in that circumstance, though? So this is not even in relation with IT at the moment.
No, not yet.
But it's a genuine question if you actually know the answer to this.
You want to know something really funny about this?
Well, what do they do when the bear is stuck in its head?
Oh, it was just it would just probably die of starvation or stuff like that. But you want to know the funniest thing about all of this?
Yeah,
I made all that up.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay, I guess.
No, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because I know bears are attracted to honey, and that's the whole.
Once you brought up the starvation thing, I was like, okay, yeah. That's a little.
I knew it took it kind of far with that. Anyway,
what does this have with news?
Anyway, the thing I got today is it's about a honeypot that this firm called GoSecure has set up, and
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't think they're that popular, but I think they're particularly a cybersecurity firm that focuses on research. In researching hackers and stuff like that. So over the past, I think just over 3 years, I think from January 2020 to February or something this year, they've had this honeypot that's out and running. That's not a new thing. The honeypots have been around for very many years and used in a lot of different ways. However, this particular honeypot has encountered over 2,000 hackers in that 3-year span. And not only does this honeypot, like, register, like, when people get on and stuff like that, it tracks everything from the screen recordings to the keyboard typing to the clipboard to the mouse clicks, everything. So,
is there more information on that? Like, where
yeah.
exactly this honeypot was placed? Because
no, I don't. They might have said a little bit about where it was placed in the.
I know there's instances when people would. I know there's instances where hackers would usually kind of look for open connections. In that case, just randomly look for open connections, and I guess that would make sense if they have that set up.
Yeah,
but. I mean, they have to. I would assume that the company would give them some kind of reason, I guess. So, like, I'm not a hacker. I should say that for the record. I don't do much in that field. But like, if I were to, in some circumstances, like, find an open connection, I don't think that I would be as much interested in actually hunting it down unless. There was an actual, I guess, gold at the end of it, if that makes sense. Like, if there's something there that I really want to get, but is there any information on that? Or is it just kind of like, look who we got, and they're probably screwed because now we have all their information?
Yeah, it's kind of along the lines of I don't think they really explained how they, like, made it seem like the honey trap was good, but I think... it's over RDP, and I think most of they had something going out that made it seem like it was like actual data that like was used by an actual company for something. So I don't think they really explained like how they made it seem like it was, but they got over 2,000 different hackers that got onto the machine. I think I have it here. I think 21 million login attempts. Over 3 years, 21 million login attempts. 2,600 of them successful brute force login attacks because it was a really easy password. That was intentional.
Well, I would assume if I was a hacker and I hacked into something and it literally was like the password was password, I don't think I would get the hell out of there so quickly.
Well, you'd be surprised at how how poor some of the cybersecurity is with even like really expensive firms and stuff like that. It's gotten better over the years, but yeah, like default passwords and stuff like that, it's been a problem for many years. So I think like 2,600 of them, like successful brute force attacks, stuff like that. However, when they got in, I think a lot of them logged into their email accounts, like personal email accounts to, I think, bring like information over and stuff like that. So yeah, like they not only gave away their own personal information, but they also gave away the tools that they used and the techniques that they used with those tools. And like with a few different hackers, that's like, okay, not that much information, but with 2,000 plus hackers, like that's a lot of information that researchers have gone over.
there's bound to be some kind of script kiddies in there that just kind of throw stuff in there and think that they could do it. I mean, there's definitely, I know in connection with 1Password, there is a organization that does, I guess, spam email solutions where it basically gives you a new email every time and you're able to connect it. I'm not sure what the name is off the top of my head. I just know it because I have 1Password and I connected it through that.
Yeah.
I don't actually use it, but I know like there is obviously ways you can combat using your personal email for that type of stuff. Yeah. It just seems very weird that a company that someone hacking into something would be like, yeah, let me use my personal email address.
Yeah, I think most of them were smarter than to like actually use it, like actual information or copy over actual, stuff that could hurt them into the clipboard. But a lot of people, apparently, a lot of them did.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah.
Is there going to be any action, or is that like, hey, look at this information we have here?
I think for the most part, this I saw a website, at least on Wired.com, and it explained that they were presenting this. They had just presented this in Las Vegas at a conference, I think, called like the Black Hat Conference or something a week ago.
I know what that is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So they were pretty much just presenting all of this information. One of my favorite parts about it is they described the hackers in 5 different categories that they typed via, or that they like 5 different category types. Guess what those category types are from?
I'm not going to say specific, but I would assume that they're based on their safety score or something like that on how secure they are
Nope. No.
as a hacker?
Okay. Think about a game.
A game?
Yeah.
Are we doing like CS:GO ranks here?
No,
for the...
no, it's not ranks. It's like types. It's like how people acting their thing, that kind of thing.
How people act. Oh God. I don't know. What would it be? That's a little
D&D.
concerning.
They presented it
God.
as 5 different categories of hackers, all of which are like 5 different categories from D&D.
Oh my God.
I'll get into that in a second, but yeah, some of them were like very smart and didn't leave any traces behind, but some of them, or at least one of them, I believe, logged in, just changed the background and then logged out. Which is kind of funny. And then another one...
That's something I would do 100%.
Yeah.
If I had the
one
ability...
logged in, typed LOL, and then left.
Well,
yeah.
obviously, I mean, I know of circumstances where people would go in and try to find open connections. I know specifically this had to do with like security in terms of cameras, security cameras.
Yeah.
Where they would try to find open connections because it was really easy. I'm not sure what company it was specifically, but it was extremely easy to log into certain cameras. So some guy, this is a long time ago. I don't remember much of it now, but he would connect it to cameras and be like, "Hey," like he would use the audio feature, and be like, "Hey, hello, can you hear me?" Or like somehow can contact these people, be like, It is extremely easy to get on your guys' cameras. And after watching that as a kid, I have not I've had a big fear of having security cameras in like aiming in the interior of houses that I'm in. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm not saying I don't trust companies with the security cameras, but like there's definitely open ports to these cameras, and it's a little concerning more and more you think about it. But honestly, those types of people, they're not too bad. But at the same time, leaving, I mean, they probably leave some trace, even if they try not to. It's very difficult to not leave any trace at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But
which is why they got so much data out of these 2,000 plus hackers, the security.
So then what were the other things? There was people that would just troll, I guess?
Yeah, it looks like there were some people that would just troll, but I think those are pretty much the big ones. Like one guy just went in, changed the background, another one typed lol and left and stuff like that. I think a lot of them were pretty smart and didn't really do much. Maybe looked around a little bit and then left, which I'll kind of get into, like the ones who looked around, the ones who did other stuff with the D&D stuff. But yeah, some of them were smart. Some of them were definitely not giving away legitimate personal information. I think one made a security key or something like that, some sort of password in the environment that had their name in it, or at least they believed it had their name in it, their full name. So, yeah, it's just definitely some script kiddies that went behind for some of that.
What's like what do you think would be the legality of that?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Not obviously. Okay, so there's obviously I'd say the black hats that are trying to get in and obviously take control or get as much information as possible to sell or whatnot. But like, what would be the legality of like a person getting in and changing the background?
Honestly, just
like,
a
can
pat
you
on
really
the
get
back
mad
for
at
me.
them? Can you really get mad at them?
No.
Like, I know in school I would like, you know how like at college we would sometimes go into the computer lab or whatnot, and some student would have their account still logged in.
Yeah.
Would you do anything?
No, I never.
With that logged in account?
No.
Every time I would make a little text document, put it in the middle of the screen so I know they'll see it, and just put "lock your computer, please," and then actually like log them out.
Just give them a mini heart attack.
Well, that's the fun part. That's always the fun part, and I think one of my teachers joked about that too. I definitely know some of my teachers would have totally done that, which is really funny. So what else is there with that? I feel like did you show the information? Because I feel like
if you actually went onto or watched their presentation or whatever, I think they showed some of their information, like some of the tools that were most often used and like the actual techniques that the hackers use for the tools. But most of like the stuff I grabbed was kind of just on like how they talked about it and stuff like that. And particularly probably the funnest part is like the D&D, the D&D character types.
Well, I would assume that most people that are into cyber stuff probably play D&D. That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me at all if that's a thing. 100%. I don't know. Every time I think about it, have you ever played the game Hacknet on Steam?
You bought it for me like 2 years ago, but I haven't.
You need to play it.
I will.
You need to play it. It's a really good game, and I think it goes over the topics of that, like kind of hacking into open ports and whatnot very well. If anyone hasn't played the game, I would 100% recommend a playthrough. I think there's DLC as well, but I haven't actually played it.
Hacknet next week.
Hacknet
For the podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's an option.
But no idea if the intro we upload is going to stay the intro we have, or we're going to do a new intro. But for people that don't know what we're talking about for the game side of things, I would recommend watching the intro that just uploaded right before this. That goes over kind of like how our episodes are set up usually.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I don't think anything will come of that in terms of like any of those people, the hackers or whatnot.
Maybe
it's definitely
of them if they gave away like their full names and email addresses and actually did stuff on it. But I mean, no one actually did anything that like hurt a company. So
yeah, it's definitely a scare though.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like you put your email and some cybersecurity firm has it.
I feel like a lot of not security companies, but I feel like a lot of companies that have a lot of our information don't take our security seriously. Yeah, and it's a little terrifying to think about because a lot of these companies that we have a lot of information with, they say they're very secure, but then like obviously you won't find that out until somebody comes on in and is like, "Hey, guess what?
Has all your information.
Hey, guess what? You've been pwned." I unironically check the "Have you been pwned" like a lot, just to make sure. Have you been pwned? Haveyoubenpwned.com. It's a website where you can put in your email address and it'll basically show you if your email has been in any data leaks. You can also put your password in and it'll tell you if your information, like if your password's been in any data leaks. It's actually
that just sounds like a way to get a data leak, but no.
Yeah, that sounds like it, but
no.
I don't touch the password one, but
no, that's fair. Yeah.
I think I touched the password one with like my older account, like older passwords that I don't use anymore. But like my newer passwords, I don't really want to. Obviously, I'm not throwing them on some random website.
That makes sense, yeah. But the email address,
yeah, 100%. I recommend it. Like, obviously, there's some that make sense for my like what I've been hacked from, like data breached, because there's like obviously when Club Penguin first shut down.
Oh yeah,
I tried to play like those rip-off Club Penguin things. There was one that got data breached from that. Thankfully I had the email, but that was like a completely different password that I just made up on the spot. There's a bunch of like random breaches as well. Definitely have you ever used an application called Mathway?
Actually, I think I have. I have heard that.
You probably have. I think we talked about it like my freshman year.
Yeah, it's like Quizlet Quizlet for math, and then like
I'd say I think it's a calculator. It was like a mathematical calculator for like calculus, I think.
Okay.
But like it was definitely like I think I made an account because you could make an account to like be able to use the calculator more or something. But like apparently that got data breached too. I'm trying to think of other ones. Town of Salem. There was a really old game that I used to play on browser. Yeah. It's actually on Steam. They came out with a second one recently that I haven't played because I'm not going to pay for that when the old one was free. But that got a data breach. Like
there's a lot.
Oh, there's a lot there's a lot of data breaches out there, and it's
scary.
It's very difficult to tell if it's getting worse or getting better. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I mean, it still happens constantly. But.
Yeah, we talk about how, like, our security is ramping up, but I think it's more based on, what's the best way to put it? It's more based on we're chasing after the hackers. The hackers are evolving quicker, and we're trying to evolve our security quicker. But we have to keep saying that we're at the front end of it because we got to make everyone else feel safe.
Yeah. Whereas, you can't really tell where we actually are in relation.
I have no idea, dude. It's a little creepy, not gonna lie. But that's interesting, though. So
yeah,
that's a really interesting thing to look at. I just imagined the whole like lol and like the background change.
Yeah, that actually is something that if I were to be a hacker, which once again we're both not hackers, that some random stuff we might do just for the lols.
I don't even think. I mean, technically speaking, I would assume that your field is probably closer to hacking than mine is, because you're a software engineer and I'm IT.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
You still got to write the scripts for it. I mean, we both obviously dabble in code. You dabble way more than I do with code.
Yeah.
I'm more.
I pretty much live in code, and then I dabble with the other stuff.
Yeah, I live in more HTML, CSS. I enjoy that type of stuff, but coding's fun, but at the same time, you gotta know a lot more about it. But I mean, it's all up in the air with that. There's you gotta learn Linux, baby, Kali, baby.
I haven't used Linux in probably 3 years at this point. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have not. The closest I've used is probably like my Raspberry Pi.
Oh shoot! I'm planning on getting a Raspberry Pi so I can actually. Here, I'm just gonna show you my 55-inch TV that I have in my room on the floor.
Alex is casually bragging and showing me of his TV in a very blurry video right now.
Yeah, it's not the best video, but yeah, I just got a 55-inch TV on the ground because I got the table that's used for supplements because that's more important. So, and then of course, welcome to Pikachu.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm planning on getting a Raspberry Pi to set that up to like play YouTube in the background or something. Which I think I kind of stole that idea from you like 2 years ago, but it's fine.
Well, I technically have two. Actually, around me as of current, I have 4 computers next to me right now. For 3 for work, 1 for personal. But like, I mean, I don't have my Raspberry Pi down here right now, but like, what would you use it for? Because I know I used to use my Raspberry Pi for like a Steam Link and do not cloud gaming, but like connect my computer to the Raspberry Pi, then to the TV, so I could play upstairs or something.
So I'm going to use it to play YouTube.
Okay, well, other than YouTube, are you going to use it other than YouTube? Because I know that you could probably run YouTube on it pretty easily.
I mean, to be honest, it's a smart TV. It can already technically run YouTube, but I just have something. I want to have something on it so that it runs like constantly and maybe does something else a little bit smarter than just YouTube. But
it's always good to learn how to use a Raspberry Pi. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Raspberry Pis are fun. Definitely fun to mess with. Anybody that's looking to get into the IT field in terms of work or whatnot, definitely recommended to have an at-home lab or something.
Yeah, especially engineering.
A lot of the time you do not have that experience that companies need, but you're able to show it through like a home lab or something. Apparently that's really good.
Yeah.
100%.
It's similar to like coding and just stuff like that where GitHub, having like actual projects on GitHub is sometimes honestly better than like experience, or not better than experience per se or years or whatnot, but better than a degree in certain situations, actually being able to show that you can code and stuff like that.
Yeah. At the same time, you think about it, there's a lot of people that I know that have GitHub, but like have a bunch of different projects that don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's just a bunch.
That's
of
probably going to be
links.
Me in like a month because I'm currently working on like 4 different projects right now.
I delete projects very quickly if I realize I'm not going to be doing anything with them. There's a project that we were working on together that you were helping me with that I think I'm going to bring back just to finish, and then I'm going to leave it.
Okay, just let me know if you want more help with that because we didn't really do that long on it, but I think we got a solid amount done. So.
Yeah,
I'm going to at least like release a quote unquote version 1.0.
Yeah, more on that later. That's interesting. Honeypots are really interesting.
Oh yeah, I've always kind of loved the idea. And so it was perfect for me when I was looking through to find a topic for today. That was like, oh, that works. Yeah.
All right, we'll be cutting to break real quick, and coming back, we'll be bringing up my topic, which will be more in relation with the gaming. We will see you right after this break. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll be cutting to break real quick and coming back, we'll be bringing up my topic, which will be more in relation with the gaming. We will see you right after this break. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, we'll be cutting to break real quick, and coming back, we'll be bringing up my topic, which will be more in relation with the gaming. We will see you right after this break. Bye-bye.
And we're back. How was your break, Alex?
It was good. It was good. Got some water out of a water bottle that shouldn't probably exist, as it is now only able to hold 10 ounces when it should hold 32.
This is why you don't put random bottles into the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Anyways, our next topic, even though it was joked about near the beginning of this podcast, is we're gonna be talking about Starfield.
Yeah.
Because Starfield is now 2 days away from full launch, but obviously you can get, if you pay a little bit more, you can get it pre-released, and people are already playing it. It's already at the top of sales for Steam, which is incredible as is, because I think the top sales for Steam just recently got bought out again by Baldur's Gate 3, if I remember correctly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is obviously, that makes a lot of sense because Baldur's Gate 3 was incredible compared to not Starfield, but compared to anything that's been out recently.
Yeah.
I feel like before we get into Starfield, I do want to talk about how I feel like we're just getting over a game drought.
Oh yeah, no, I feel that, yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It feels like there hasn't been any good games releasing. I know there's a couple of more, not AAA studio games. I know we have like BattleBit that came out recently that's made by 3 people, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I personally really liked Outlast Trials, and they're coming out with not DLC, but they're coming out with an update with more trials and whatnot coming in, I think around Halloween time is when it's coming out. So you bet your butt I'm playing that. But obviously, main topic for this is Starfield, which apparently people have been talking about how Starfield is what Xbox Game Pass has been needing for a long time.
Yeah.
Which I think
they just recently dropped the Game Pass like $1 thing, like right as Starfield came out. I think it was like pretty much intentional.
I think as of right now, you can get Game Pass for 14 days for $1.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but
which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. I feel like the $1 for a month was like a steal. So.
Yeah, but it was only a month, and like, you know, if you like the games, then most people would probably buy it more, which is the whole idea. So,
I mean, I talk about it with my brother a lot. I feel like the Game Pass is worth the $10.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. If you play enough games, like it's easily worth it.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, like it's actually insane how much they have on there, which is actually crazy.
Yeah.
But back to Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
You've played Starfield.
I have played Starfield.
I have not.
Uh-huh.
I am waiting on the release for it to come out to Game Pass, and I'll play it then.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? Like, what are your...
Well, first off, I'll say it's absolutely amazing. Secondly, I'll say I didn't even realize that it came like that. We could play it early until a couple of days ago when I talked to your brother about it, because he already had it. Like, I didn't realize that you could get it 5 days early if you pre-ordered like the special version or something like that. And then I got it downloaded and started playing it today. But yeah, it's an amazing video game from start to finish. I've only played like 5 hours, but it's so vast and it's so beautiful. Yeah, would highly recommend to anybody.
Did you hear about recently how there was like some journalist that flew all the way to Pluto?
I did.
Took like
yeah, 7 hours. Yeah.
Which obviously, when she got there and she like was in the planet, obviously it made sense that they were not like prepared for someone to go do that. But it is utterly crazy that you were able to go for 7 hours.
That is and then insane. Actually get somewhere. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. But I know for a fact that with the Starfield Premium, I know I think it was you can get the Starfield Premium on Game Pass for around $31.
Okay.
And that comes out Starfield. It would have come out September 1st, and apparently, it became that premium upgrade has become a bestseller just because people want to play Starfield so badly.
Yeah, bro, it's been like it was like Cyberpunk in how many years that it's kind of like been waited on, because I think I heard about it in the summer of 2018 before I ever even went to college, and I was like, I'm gonna love that game. I'm pretty sure they announced it earlier than that. I think it was. I want to say it was around like 2010, early 2010s. I just remember that I think I heard about it right when I bought the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition, for $200. And you can, here, let me put this up a little bit. As you can see, the helmet in the background. I still have the T-51 power helmet.
Unironically, the funny thing about it is I'm currently like where I'm stationed. I'm currently where my brother used to be sitting.
Oh yeah, I can see the Fallout 76 poster in the back.
I like to point out I was not a fan of the game.
Yeah.
My brother was. I was not. But I don't know. I used to play Fallout a lot. Fallout 4 specifically, which isn't the best Fallout. I think New Vegas probably is. But like, I don't know. I'm waiting for Starfield though, which is it's very interesting that Starfield. There's a lot of bickering between people on Starfield. A lot of people. I would say it's mainly just centered down to the console wars because PlayStation people can't play it, and then they're trying to like compare.
I didn't realize that.
It's. I'm pretty sure it's Xbox exclusive.
Is it?
I've been hearing. So I think it is.
Okay.
Let me look that up while we're talking just to confirm.
That's fair. But, I've been PC for so long. I kind of forgot about the whole console war because we already won like so many years ago, basically. So.
Well, I mean, Xbox is basically okay. So Starfield will be launching exclusively for Xbox Series X and PC on September 6th. I don't think there's any talks about it coming to PS5 right now.
Dang. Yeah.
That means Xbox and Windows, but definitely not PlayStation. Apparently, some people didn't get the memo. Okay. Highly unlikely that the game will ever be released on PlayStation.
Wow. Yeah. Those PlayStation powered players. Man, sucks to suck.
Well, now is a great time to switch over to PC gaming.
Yeah. This is our first ad for a $1,000 PC. Acer, no.
yeah, exactly. I've definitely seen like some things I've seen on Twitter. I don't really, or X, whichever you want to call it. I don't really care too much when I'm looking through Twitter. I'm not really expecting much, but I've seen a lot like the facial animation and whatnot. It looks really good.
It is. Yeah.
It's a really weird thing to bring up, but it looks really good.
It is. Yeah.
But it just seems like, I don't know. It's space. I would say it's like a mix of, from what I've seen, I've not played.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a mix of No Man's Sky meets Fallout, which obviously I feel like a lot of people. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people kind of mix together. But I've definitely seen a bunch of people complain that a lot of gaming companies or game review companies are not giving it as much effort. Like I've seen stuff like how gaming companies have only played like 5 hours of the game, and I feel like that game needs to be. It's definitely a grind game.
Yeah, it's a Bethesda game. It's like 500 hours until you've seen halfway. You know?
It feels like what's the best way to put it? It kind of feels like, oh god, I don't even know what I'm saying. It seems like a really good game. It's just really difficult for normal audiences to get into now.
That's fair.
Because of how much you have to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same
Bethesda,
time,
I think, in a way.
I've also heard that apparently Starfield is apparently you don't get all the information of Starfield until you play the new game plus once you beat it originally. That's some conversation that I've seen about it. I'm still waiting on it to come out to Game Pass where I don't have to pay for it other than the Game Pass. Fair. Which is, if I love a game on Game Pass, if I love it to death, I will 100% buy it on Steam. So I have it on my Steam account.
Makes sense.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do anything I'm not going to buy it on Epic if it was on Epic. Epic Games that's a mess. But
Fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. I heard looking at some more news in relation with Starfield. One big thing I really like in games, and it's not. I don't know if it's a niche. I don't know if that's a thing, but obviously a good example of this is because we brought up Steam. The concept of using the workshop and bringing in player-made content into the game, I love.
Yeah.
Skyrim did that, whether they liked it or not. Trying to No, I'm not saying in terms of having mods be paid for. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying more in relation with custom stuff that people are bringing in that we're not paying for. It's more of just kind of like community made content.
Yeah.
If you want to go for pay, that's perfectly fine. I know people do that with Minecraft shaders.
Okay. Yeah.
If it's like a really good Minecraft shader, I mean, I'll pay for a good Minecraft shader if my computer can run it. But like, if my computer can run it, I don't want to have a fireball underneath of me while I'm playing. But I don't know. They talked about how Starfield may let modders create their own planets.
I heard about that. Yeah. Or at least like, I actually like that idea because it kind of opens it up, and I think for Bethesda in a lot of ways, like Fallout 4 is huge, but it's only made like bigger by the modding community and having like all those tons of mods that people are able to download and stuff like that, and so yeah, I think the modding community in a way is kind of like what has kept Fallout 4 alive and for so many years, because it came out I think like 2015.
I think so. I'm not too sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think 2015.
It's been a long time since I played Fallout 4.
That's fair. That's my favorite game of all time. That's what had me fall in love with Bethesda. I played Fallout 3, haven't played New Vegas, and those are like good games and stuff. But yeah, Fallout 4 is like my love, and I think one of the things that really makes it so great is the ability to download mods and make it your own. So yeah, so I think the whole idea of having people build their own planets is great. I think it'll take so long for you to get to the point where you can even like get past the quests and get past the regular stuff that's built into the game. But yeah, I think it'll be great for the game and keep it alive for a lot longer. So yeah.
Do you think are you the type of person that enjoys long games, or are you more of kind of like long games is in like hours upon hours, like MMO type stuff?
Yeah,
but
I'm the person who likes the long games. Yeah, that's why I love Fallout 4 so much.
I'm like at a mix because I enjoy the small games, but I also enjoy MMOs. My problem is though, is I can't sit on an MMO for a while, or else my ADHD will go wild and I'll be jumping to random things. But
fair.
Like, I'll definitely play Starfield when it comes out.
Yeah,
100%. I've seen a lot of comparison with that between Starfield and Cyberpunk. Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's different game studios. So there's like things that Cyberpunk has done that Starfield hasn't done. Have you seen the stuff where they like shoot around the NPCs and stuff?
Yeah, how Starfield doesn't react. NPCs don't react to it at all. Yeah. Do they react at all, like in any planet, or?
I just saw it on like one guy shooting around on the floor. I haven't done it. I haven't just like shot around people in Starfield yet. I'm too afraid of that. I'm too afraid of getting a bounty and stuff. Yeah, but I don't want to get a bounty. Yeah, I'm not strong enough to like fight a whole army, so I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can just restart it if you don't do well. No,
I don't want to get my blown out of the sky as I'm coming in. I did have to restart at one point because I had contraband on my ship that I didn't realize I had on my ship. So then I got to like some place, and the moment you get it towards some planets, they'll scan you. You'll get that within like the first 20 minutes of the game. But they'll scan your ship, and you have contraband, they'll do something. I still don't know what they do because the moment I saw that, I paused and I went to my previous load. So
I got scared.
I got really scared. So that's what I did. But I'm not going to shoot around people, not yet at least.
Yeah. I got really scared.
I got.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my god. I would have. Yeah. How is the Is there a ship builder in the game?
Oh my god, it's so good. The ship builder. Okay, remember like the whole boat idea that we had to build a video game, where you could design your ship. It's not quite to that level of like customization where you could build it block by block, but like. Yeah, you can build your ship and make it do whatever you want, pretty much. It is actually really cool. I haven't even used it that much, but I've seen like the stuff that the way that you can build it and the way that things connect and stuff like that. It's very in depth. There's a lot you can do with that. I probably spent 20 to 30 minutes just trying to like put things on my ship, only to realize that I couldn't put some of the stuff on my ship, so I had to like delete it all. But it was it was fun.
Okay, yeah. Looking at it right now with Starfield, apparently Starfield has their current record as of recording this on September the 4th at about 8:25 p.m. Their current record, the game has not released yet. Gotta say that for the record.
Yes.
The game has not released. On Steam, their current all-time peak is about 248,000 players. Starfield's not multiplayer, though, is it? It's a single player game.
No, it's not multiplayer. It's a single player, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my lord. That seems like I gotta play it.
That seems like game of the year level.
What other games have come out recently? Oh,
Baldur's Gate. That's the only one that can compete this year.
Okay, Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Baldur's Gate may. Well, I wouldn't. It seems like a controversial opinion, but I think because Baldur's Gate is multiplayer, it may have a little bit more of an advantage.
That's fair. Yeah, I haven't played it, and I really don't know that much about it. I know it's kind of like a role playing like D&D type game, but I don't really know anything about it. So I just know it's big, pretty popular.
I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting at the moment. Maybe it'll go on sale or something.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unlike Fallout 76, though, there has not been a major controversy with Starfield yet.
No, not yet. And I feel like there probably won't be. At least I'm hoping. I'm hopeful. My game did crash twice today, but I think that's on me. Okay. I was shading shaders and stuff. I was literally doing way too much.
It's a Bethesda game. It's gonna glitch out. That's normal. But what I'm saying is that I don't like. There was Fallout 76 had some major controversies. I would say pre-order stuff, that was a big thing. I'm not the type of guy to pre-order. Yeah, I would not pre-order anything, and that bag is a really great reason why I got them pre-order.
Both. I still got them both. I don't know where I know where one of them is. I don't remember where the other one is. But,
do you even use the bag?
No, but I have used it. I have used it before when I was moving in and out of college and stuff like that. I used it for that. I used them both for that actually, but I haven't used them in a while now.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But it's just like there's definitely. I could see some areas where Starfield could possibly get controversial. The glitches is really difficult for it to become controversial.
No, it's just a big thing that a lot of people will talk about. Like Cyberpunk.
A lot of people are disappointed that it's not coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, apparently there's some mods already that change the Xbox input on-screen icons to PlayStation ones, which is really funny.
So you can play it on a PlayStation, quote unquote.
That is copium if I have ever seen it. That is 100% copium, and I feel terrible, but it's still funny. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, have you played? Gonna kind of compare two games right now.
Sure.
Have you played No Man's Sky at all?
Nope. I've heard about it.
No,
but I've never really played it. Yeah.
Because I kind of want to know what the different that's something I first thought of when I first kind of came up with not came up, but started to learn about Starfield.
Yeah.
It's obviously space game. It must be No Man's Sky, but it just kind of feels like it's another No Man's Sky. But I know,
I wouldn't know.
It's more story oriented than No Man's Sky.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's Bethesda, they have tons of interconnected leagues or groups of people that you can join with and stuff like that are against each other. Some are together, some are not. Which just how
Brotherhood of Arms.
The Brotherhood of Steel. Is that actually a thing? Brotherhood of Arms?
I think I meant Steel.
Steel, yeah. I was about to say.
It's been a long time since I have actually played Fallout 4.
It's the Brotherhood of Steel versus the Institute versus the Railroad, stuff like that. Although I mean I haven't dug that deep into it yet, but even how when you customize your character, you can have it start off in which it has a reputation with those with certain of those groups already. So I think there's 4 or 5 at least that I've encountered.
How is the customization in terms of character?
It's definitely more so. Well, okay, you can't. Remember how Fallout 4 where you could change your facial features around and stuff like that, move if you wanted your lip to go down. I don't think it has that, but it does have a lot more customization on presets. So you can you go through tons of different presets and it'll be 12 to 30. I think actually no, there were 30 different presets for the face, but then after that you could change it to female, male. You could change the skin tone. You could change, body shape. You could change all that stuff like that. So it's kind of like the same thing as previous games that you've seen before, but more.
I feel like I'm really glad Bethesda's back in kind of the spotlight. I don't fully agree with a lot of the stuff they do in terms of like some of their games, some of their choices with those games and whatnot.
That's fair.
Which is perfectly fine. I don't think you should agree with everything.
Yeah.
But from the looks of it, I feel like Microsoft has definitely assisted Bethesda a lot on this game compared to the older one. Or compared to like Fallout and whatnot. I definitely feel like they had a lot more time to work with. They weren't on a time crunch because obviously with the amount of people that are playing right now, it definitely feels like I feel like there'd be a lot more bugs that come out as of recent, and there hasn't been, which it's been a little bit weird compared to what we're used to when it comes to
I
games.
was expecting some game-breaking bugs, but I didn't see any. The only thing is when mine crashed twice, it was like 2 back-to-back, but I was literally also changing the refresh rate. I had updated my my graphics card in the middle of playing and stuff like that you should never do. So I'm not even surprised at all that it crashed my game. So yeah.
I mean, I've seen a couple of visual glitches with NPCs and whatnot from Starfield, but it's definitely like there hasn't been much.
Yeah.
There has not been much issues. I was expecting an issue that would absolutely destroy the game or maybe complete the game in less than 5 minutes. But surprisingly, the quickest way you can complete the game is
like
around under 3 hours as of right now, which sounds like a lot. But when you think about
speedrunners who like know exactly where to go to complete it and do stuff like that, it's not that crazy. Yeah,
it's usually just them breaking the game to the point where they can get stuff done quicker.
Yeah.
I know, like that really old version of the Clue, like an old PC port, like less than a second is the fastest speed run of it.
Lol.
And it's the guy guessing, so he like spams the button as quickly as possible, and you have to just keep refreshing, hoping that the right choices are all down the middle.
That's fun.
But while I'm talking here, I was quickly looking up and any percent of the speedrun for Fallout 4, just to kind of like get an idea of what the speedrun time is for that. And it looks like it is currently, seems to be, it's on the PC, and it's around 35 minutes.
Yeah, but that I think is with glitches. I know, because I remember like last time I watched the speedrun of Fallout 4, someone hops out of the vault, jumps into a weird space in the rock, and gets flung to Diamond City.
Well, that's any
Something
percent.
like that. Yeah,
that's what any percent is, and that's 35 minutes on load remove time. That means load screens are gone.
Yeah.
If we add in load screens, it's 53 minutes.
Still,
which
that's really fast.
Let me just say that's insane that amount of load screens is in that short time frame. But
because I think most of it is load screens because you have to you're literally probably using glitches to jump from point A to point B to point C like super fast, and then like spending a minute each time in load screens. So
yeah, and let me add on to this, by the way, because you said that they were glitching. The fastest glitchless run for it seems to be standard for the Institute run. So I'm guessing where you meet your father at the end of the game or whatnot, or however that. Or no, it was your father. It was your kid.
Yeah, it's your kid who is called the father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without load time, it is an hour and 21 minutes. And with load time, it is an hour and 32 minutes. And that's glitchless.
Yeah. Okay, that's still... that is insanely fast for glitchless.
Yeah, that came out... So Fallout 4 came out in 2016. Or 2015.
One of those, yeah.
And I'm not too sure how fast it was at the beginning when it first got released. But I definitely feel like Starfield seems a lot less glitchless than their older games when they first get released.
Yeah, it's less of a Bethesda game with the glitches, but it's still a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I mean it's a Bethesda game. You would expect that.
Yeah, you'd expect some people. Okay, well, there was one, I guess, kind of. It wasn't it was no game breaking glitch or whatever. But when I was just like randomly came out of a building or something like that, I just saw someone like was in a pond and just jumped up out of the pond. but they didn't teleport. They just yeeted themselves out of the pond. So I think they like got I don't know, they got like teleported into the pond or something like that. But yeah, no game breaking bugs. Like there was this one with Cyberpunk where halfway through, did you ever play it where you got into the car with Jackie? Did you get that far? You got into the car with Jackie? Okay. So when you go out like of the building to get into that car, like if you can't get into that car, you can't continue the main story. So one of the big glitches that happened to multiple people, it happened to me, was I went and I did something else right after like having the conversation with Jackie, and I came back. The car was there, but it was flipped on its side, like it was flipped upside down. So you can like, and when it's flipped upside down like that, you can never get into it. Like no matter what you do. I went and I played like 2 more hours of the game thinking I'd come back and it'd fix it. It didn't fix it. You had to go back to a previous save when you would like, before you would set up that mission with Jackie and then do it over again. I remembered, like, I wasn't the only person that had happened to, but that's like the kind of game-breaking bug that Cyberpunk, like, got famous for, and Starfield, so far, it doesn't have any of those.
Why would you, so I've seen a lot of comparison with Cyberpunk, why would you assume that they're being compared together?
They're just, like, two, like, really, or two of, like, the recent games with, I don't know, that look, I guess, more human? I don't know. I don't like. I mean, I guess Baldur's Gate is, of course, a really recent game that I'm sure looks really good. But I think there's a lot more like monsters and stuff in that, right?
It's D&D. That's what you'd expect.
Yeah. So like, I think it's probably one of the ones where it's like they have I guess similar gunfight styles, like gun mechanics. I actually think Starfield is better though. It's less of that clunky experience with Cyberpunk that you kind of have to get used to. The gunfights is definitely better than like any of the previous Bethesda games I've ever played.
It's better on release.
Yeah,
I would say, because when was the last time you played Cyberpunk?
Last time actually was probably only a couple months ago.
Yeah, because I would assume that Cyberpunk. I haven't played in a while, but I would assume that Cyberpunk is more, or has at least gotten their bugs fixed.
Oh no, they've gotten tons of bugs fixed. It's basically a different game at this point. I remember even like because I had played it like the week after it came out, and like even like how the gunfights are, it's still kind of like the same. It does feel clunkier if you're used to playing like a fast first-person shooter like Call of Duty or something like that. But it's still like one of the. It's nice when you kind of get used to it. But Starfield is like it's smooth like from start to finish. But I think they kind of look similar and like. It's humans. It's mostly humans. Of course, there's aliens, some aliens, but most of them aren't like. There's no alien NPCs, like you haven't ran into super mutants or stuff like that. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why they've gotten compared because they're just recent games that look very good, and are like set in a futuristic time. So I think that's probably why they've been compared a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean. Any kind of final thoughts about Starfield?
It's an amazing game. Would highly recommend anyone play it. That's my final thoughts.
It seems like a really good game. I mean, I've seen mixed reviews on it, obviously, with every new game that comes out. Mm-hmm. I feel like the gaming landscape as of now is a lot more toxic when it comes to new, like really hyped up releases.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's very difficult. I don't trust gaming journalists for kind of reviewing games at this point.
Yeah.
Great example of that is the Cuphead situation, which is probably way over talked about now. But do you know what that is?
No, actually, I don't.
It's just the guy that couldn't get through the tutorial because he couldn't understand the simple concept of like double jumping and dashing to get over like a higher pool. It's a brutal watch.
What game was that?
Cuphead.
Oh, I don't even know that game.
It was a brutal watch.
Okay.
Let me just say. But yeah, I mean I tend to listen to more kind of like when you open up Rotten Tomatoes and when you open up Rotten Tomatoes, would you rather like take the audience score or would you rather take the critic score?
I think it depends on what I'm going for because I like the idea of a very critically acclaimed movie like Oppenheimer or stuff like that. Like I like the idea, like because I think Oppenheimer probably has I think it has a pretty high in both scores, but might have a higher Rotten Tomato score because it's one of those movies where like it's a long movie and a lot of people aren't really going to enjoy watching it, but from a critical standpoint, it's an amazingly like well put together movie. So
Okay.
I think it depends. If I'm just like there for like a quick like 2 hour, I want to watch something really fun, then I'm gonna look more at the audience score. But if I want something that I'm like gonna be thinking about for 2 weeks, it's the tomato score.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like in Starfield's case, I think I'm looking more at the user reviews rather than the actual critics for that.
Yeah,
but I will definitely play it once it gets released.
Would highly recommend for sure.
That may be a game on the idea list for that, but we'll find out. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, that would actually be a great game for us to like start out with.
Yeah. We won't say what specifically the game is. But there will be a game coming in the upcoming days in terms of our next podcast post. But other than that, do you have any last final thoughts for us?
Nope. Or aside from, don't forget to check out our YouTube at www.youtube.com/bitsandcaffeine. No, I got nothing else.
You see, I put a lot of time and effort into making a really, just a really simplistic website, bitsandcaffeine.com.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's really easy. Just be like, go to bitsandcaffeine.com and there's a link out to every single social media site. But no, you just have to go and butcher the YouTube.
Butcher the YouTube version.
We'll be having an audio version of this on YouTube as well as our other platforms, which is Apple, Google, Spotify, and Amazon as of current.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the smaller sites as well, but if you're watching on those sites, hi. But other than that, we're going to end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a nice little review so that we can know what your all's thoughts were. We definitely, obviously, we're starting this podcast brand new. We don't have much experience, but if you could let us know any kind of fixes that you would recommend or any kind of options that we can go with in the future to make this better experience for you all, we would love to do that. Other than that, this will be the close for this episode, and hope to see you all guys in the next episode.
See y'all later.
All right. Bye-bye.